Hey everyone, it's Mr. Oda. In today's lesson, we're going to be going over the final topic of Unit 3, Topic 3.9, Demographic Transition. Now, our learning objective for this is going to be define what demographic transition is, and our skill is going to be able to explain environmental concepts. Now, demographic transition is something that you probably have not heard of before, but it is intuitive in that we've talked about different countries and their status in the world, whether they're developing or already developed. The demographic transition model just shows this, and the way it does that is by displaying three factors: the birth rate, the death rate, and the total population of a country. And this is taken from historical data as the nation develops over time. Now, the trend seems to be that all countries move towards industrialization. All countries develop over time, and a country usually goes from an agricultural country to an industrial, to more industrial economics. Now, when you look at this, we have four stages of demographic transition: 1, 2, 3, and 4. And when you look at a country that's still in stage 1 and 2, those are usually younger nations. What you're going to see based on the graph is that there is a higher infant mortality rate. There's more children needed in the workforce, so generally women are having more offspring. And stage 1, although it has a lot of births, there's not a lot of medical care, so the deaths balance it out. However, in stage 2, that's where the death rate starts to drop, mostly because of the advancements to technology, to medicine, and things like that. Although it is not completely industrialized, it is becoming more developed. So when you look at this picture shows the characteristics of each phase fairly well. In phase 1 or stage 1, you have lots of children, but also high death rate because of children in the workforce, high mortality rate in infants. And because this balances out, there's really not going to be a lot of population growth. However, in stage 2, there's going to be advancements that lower the death rate, but there's still going to be a lot of births. So because there's less people dying, but still a large amount of newborns, you're going to have a very high population growth. In phase 3, things start to slow down because there's going to start to be more education, less births. The births are going to go down closer to where the death rate is, and so there's going to be slow growth. And then in a country that's in stage 4, what you're going to see is much higher education, low infant mortality rates, but the birth rate has balanced out. So now there's going to be little to no growth. And depending on what country you're looking at, if it's a country like Japan, where there's a very old population, you might actually see a negative growth. This is going to be the post-industrial kind of country. And again, this is just another clear image of the demographic transition. Sometimes they talk about a stage 5. However, for our purposes, we're only worried about stages 1 through 4. And this image shows you the birth rate, the death rate, and the total population. So again, in stage 1, lots of births, lots of deaths. There's going to be low population growth. It's going to be stable. In stage 2, we have a high birth rate, low death rate. We're going to have a very fast population increase. In stage 3, birth rate's going to fall down. Death rate is also low, and so the population growth is going to be slowing down. And finally, in stage 4, both the birth and the death rate are low, so the population growth is going to flatten out. It's going to be more stable. And the good thing about this picture is that it also shows you some examples of population pyramids for these countries. Now, a couple multiple choice questions to practice. Which of the following is most typically associated with the transition from a rural to an urbanized society? For this question, the thing that indicates that a society is more urbanized, more modern, is that you're actually going to have reduced birth rates. And that is because of more education for women, increase in technology, and things like that. In a certain country, the birth rate is high, the death rate is high, and there are many children that are part of the workforce. The country is most likely in which of the following stages of the demographic transition? Think back to the model. What stage would this country be in? If you remember from the picture, if the birth and death rate are both high, we are going to be in stage 1. Correct answer is A. Question 3 gives you a picture of the demographic transition. During which stage of the demographic transition shown above does a population begin to experience an explosive increase in growth? If you remember from the lecture, stage 2 is where you're going to have less deaths, but still a high birth rate. And so that is going to be where your population grows the most in stage 2. In question 4, in a human population undergoing the demographic transition, which of the following generally decreases first? When you look at the picture, death rate is generally the one that goes down first because of advancements in technology and medicine. Fifth question. The rate of population growth starts to slow down at which point? So this is the opposite of another question we did. We know that in phase 2, the population growth rate increases a lot. However, in phase 3, that is where the population growth is going to slow down. And it's going to be at the beginning of phase 3 when the birth rate starts to decrease. And then a small developing country with negligible rates of immigration and emigration is going through a demographic change. 30 years ago, the crude birth rate was 44 per thousand per year, and the crude death rate was 17 per thousand per year. Now the crude birth rate is 16,000 per year, and the crude death rate is 5 per thousand per year. Which of the following statements about the country now is most likely to be true? So what you'll notice is that the birth rate has gone down from 44 per thousand to 16 per thousand. And the death rate has also gone down from 17 to 5 per thousand. So both of them are going down. And so what you're going to see is that this country is now at the post-industrial stage. Actually, let me double check that. Behind the scenes, oh my god. Oh, no, that's okay. Where's that question? And with that, oh my God. And with that topic out of the way, we are finished with Unit 3. In the next few days, we are going to review what we've learned in this unit and prepare for our progress check, which is both multiple choice and free response. If you are confused or have questions about any of the topics we've gone over, please make sure you see me. Let me know, and I will see you all in class later.